Growing a business, the revenues and profits of a business doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be costly, require advanced marketing or sales skills, and it doesn't have to take an inordinate amount of time. This business multiplier calculator shows the results that making small incremental changes in a handful of critical areas can produce. For a working example, let's use a business that currently has 1,000 customers. Now, every year they lose 20% of those customers to attrition for a variety of reasons. Some customers die, some move away, some find another place to buy things from. Some have outgrown their need for what they've been using, and there may be some who have had a bad experience with a certain product or service, or perhaps they had a falling out with an employee. Whatever the case, 20% of them, or 200 customers, stop doing business with the company each year. After deducting those 200 customers, that leaves the business with 800. Now let's suppose that the business generates 1,000 new leads every year. These leads may come from ads or promotions they run, letters or emails they send, joint venture arrangements they have with other centers of influence, or referrals from their current customers or other sources. And let's say that out of every 10 sales presentations or inquiries, they convert 2 or 20% into buying customers. And each customer, on average, spends $100 each time they buy, and they buy 4 times during the year. Now we know that some will spend more and some will spend less than others, and some may buy more than 4 times a year, and some will not buy that many times. And since we can't accurately know the real numbers, we have to deal with averages. Now, after deducting all expenses and costs, the business realizes a 25% profit margin. So the annual revenue for that business will be $400,000, and they'll make $100,000 in profit. So that's the baseline we'll use for our example. Now let's take a look at what the outcome could be with some very small changes in a number of key areas. Let's start with customer attrition, the number of people who no longer patronize the business. Now, if we were to reduce that number by 5%, we'd have a 15% attrition rate instead of the original 20%, or a 25% reduction. Now, that 5% would enable the business to retain 50 customers, so they now have 850 instead of 800. Now look what would happen if they generated just 50 more leads. That's 1 more lead every 7 days, 1 lead a week, and add 1 more conversion. That's 1 more sale out of every 10 presentations. Bump the dollar value of every sale by 10%, in this case it's $10, and get their customers to buy 1 more time in the next 12 months. And then increase their profit margin. And that can be done in a number of ways, such as increasing prices, reducing their operating costs and expenses, and renegotiating the prices they pay for the goods and services they sell. And if they could increase that margin by a modest 10%, or 28 cents out of every revenue dollar, their revenue would jump by 60%, from $400,000 to $640,750, an increase of $240,750, nearly $250,000. And the profit increase would be 76%, from $100,000 to $176,206, a bump of $76,206. Now that's money in their pocket that they didn't have and that they wouldn't have had they not made these small increases. Now remember, this is a very small business that we've been talking about. Annual revenues of only $400,000 and a very small $100,000 profit. Well, let's see what would happen if this business was larger, say $1 million business. Well, we're at $400,000 now, so we need to increase our base model by 2.5. That shows us that the annual revenue of our business is now $1 million, and with the improvements we've made, the new revenue would be $1,601,875, a 60% increase to $601,875. And the profits would increase by 76%, from $250,000 to $440,516, or an additional $190,516. Now this $190,000 is brand new money that's not spoken for, not allocated or spent. It's money that the business can use however they need or want to. They can put some of it into advertising or marketing campaigns to attract more leads. They can hire a sales trainer to help their salespeople close more leads and increase their customer base. They can increase their on-hand stock and inventory, or acquire additional products to sell to their customers. They can pay their good employees more, give them bonuses and benefits, and provide incentives for them to increase their performance and productivity, and reduce their employee turnover. Or with some of this extra money, they can search for and hire additional employees, or perhaps more skilled employees. They can upgrade their current equipment, or even purchase new or additional equipment, so they can improve or increase their production or efficiency. And the owner can hire someone to take over some of what he or she does, so they can get away from their business, spend time with their family, or do things other than business. The point is, by just implementing a handful of very easy-to-do things in some key areas of their business, a whole new world of options opened up to them. Now there are 4 charts below the main calculator. The 2 on the left are for the first business, the one with the $400,000 in revenue, and the 2 on the right are for the larger $1 million business. Let's take a look at the first one, the What's Possible chart with a yellow background. This shows in visual form the results that we created above, and the missed opportunity chart with a blue background takes the results from above and shows what they miss out on if they don't implement the changes we've outlined. The other 2 charts, the green and the pink ones on the right, show the same things for the larger business, the one doing $1 million a year. As you can see, the results for both businesses are pretty dramatic. Alright, so now that you've seen what can be done with these businesses, play around with some numbers relative to your business and see what kinds of results you can generate. And once you've done that, don't stop there. Implement what you've come up with and enjoy what those increased profits can do for you, your business, and your customers.